need you to hurry up, man, 'cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be.
America's premier triathlon takes place next weekend. It's also the only triathlon held in Washington, D.C. And here with more about Events D.C. Nations Triathlon to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society are Sarah Tebow. She's a team and training participant and a Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor. And Omar Noor, he's an ambassador for Events D.C. Nations Triathlon. So welcome. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks.
You know, we were just chatting about the fact that we got two extremes here on the set. We've got the beginner and we've got the professional triathlete. So let's start with you, Sarah. Tell us a little bit about your story. You were diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when?
When I was a sophomore in college, actually. I was about 2 months into the first semester. And I'd been having some weird symptoms for a while. And I was actually diagnosed with stage 4.
What were the symptoms?
Oh. So first it was a sort of phantom back pain, if you will, some weird fevers, then night sweats of swollen lymph nodes everywhere.
Well, you were shocked when the doctor told you it was cancer?
Actually, it took about 6 months for them to correctly diagnose me, and they thought I had a very bad infection for a while. They went through many different things they thought it could be. And so finally, by the time they finally diagnosed me, I'd kind of already thought that might have been a possibility.
Oh, my goodness. But you're doing very well. Well enough to do a triathlon.
Yes, well enough to do a triathlon. So after 6 months of chemotherapy, I've been in remission since, very luckily. And so now it's time for me to do a triathlon.
Oh, boy. Well, Omar, you've got a great story, too. 7 years ago, you didn't look the way you look right now?
No, not exactly. Not exactly. I mean, it was more of me.
Oh,
right?
there you go.
Yeah. I was 230 pounds 7 years ago, and I didn't know what a triathlon even was. And actually getting into my car, I was wearing a suit, and as I bent over, I heard, and what is this? And the suit had ripped at the bottom. And
that was a sign.
Yeah, the second time it happened, I was like, you know what, something that happened. And so Events DC's Nations Triathlon was actually my very first triathlon, because I'm a DCI.
So you knew you needed to do something. And did a friend encourage you
Exactly,
to pursue the
exactly.
triathlon?
A friend of mine said, you know, I'm doing this triathlon. I'm like, what is it? And it sounded ridiculous. And I was like, you know what, this is going to impress the girls. Like, this is what I was thinking, you know, let's just do it once and be done with this.
So you
know?
weren't intimidated?
I've always liked to do something that's sort of insane, you know, and that was the whole thing, you know, it was a little bit insane. And it's amazing. I'm excited to see Sarah her first time, because it's one of these things that anyone can really do. It's so easy, and it sounds intimidating, but it's not. Anyone can do it, and there's a relay. Like, I think you should do it, Kelly.
Well, I know. You have been encouraging me, and we were just trying to figure out what portion I would do. But I like the concept of breaking it down and taking 3 people and let each person do one leg.
You know, that's what I'm doing this year. I'm bringing it back to basics. I'm going to be doing the bike leg. And, you know, Events DC Nations Triathlon partnered up with Etihad Airways. So I train in Abu Dhabi in the winter season, and there's going to be a relay team coming from Abu Dhabi over the nonstop flight to DC to compete against me.
We need to let people know that you are a professional triathlete. You are actually training for qualifying for the Olympics in 2016.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly it. So, you know, I started to basically, once I started to lose weight, I was training more and more, and my brother and I started a company together, and he sat me down and was like, listen, I'm working and you're just working out. What's up, you know?
That's your job.
And eventually he's like, I'm like, what do you want from me? And he said, I want you to go to the Olympics. And, you know, one of my favorite quotes is, no one told them they couldn't do it, so they went ahead and did it. It was ignorance is bliss. I was like, let's go, let's do it. I had no idea, no concept of what it would take. But sometimes that's what you got to do. And, you know, mind you, at age 29, I weighed 230 pounds. At age 31, I turned pro. And, you know, at age 37, I'll be going to the Olympics, which is that's when everybody's retiring. You know, and people are retiring at age 31, 32.
Oh, well, good for you. How much do you weigh now, though?
169 pounds.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so let's tell people about this event, because this is a huge event. Sarah, you haven't done it before, but you've been training with Team in Training, and all of this is going to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. How does this work?
Well, so for the Team in Training, it's really great. A few months out, you sign up for an event, and then they give you really personalized training for the whole 3-4 months leading up to the event. So they actually break it up into levels based on, you can be a complete amateur who's never really run before, and they can take you to be able to run the distance of the event. Or you can be someone who's a semi-regular at triathloning, and they will help you hone in your skills and give you any personalized training that you need.
And which one were you?
I guess I'd say I had run before, but I was not a good runner.
Okay, you're a much better runner now, hopefully.
I am, yes. I actually enjoy it now, which is shocking. Something I never thought I would say. But and so while they're giving you all this training and you're spending a few hours every day doing this, you're also raising money for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So right about now, I've almost raised about $5,000. Most people on the team have raised about $2,000 to $3,000. And then also the race fee for the event, a portion of that also goes back to Proceed, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So really it's a double hit to help them. So it's great.
That is terrific. Well, we should let people know when this is going to be happening and where.
Yeah, it's next weekend, and it's going to be all over D.C., and people can still register until Sunday.
Because there are several events happening at one time. It's not just one race.
No, you swim in the Potomac, and you bike all over the city on closed roads, and you run around. I mean, it's very unique. Very little time do they close D.C. streets.
All right, so I want to go back to that full screen to give you that information. If you want more information, just go to nationstry.com. Again, it's called Events DC, Nations Triathlon, happening on Sunday, September 7th. The Fitness Expo. The registration is happening online until August 31st. Time is running out, so take advantage of that. Lots of stuff going on. It's a very scenic course, too.
It's beautiful. And Kelly, if you end up doing it, I'm going to give you one of my headbands.
Wait
right?
a minute.
Yeah, this is a headband, and I want you to, now you feel compelled to do it, I feel, right?
All
With my tagline, live with passion.
Okay.
There you go.
So this means that...
You're on.
All right, I'm official?
Yeah,
There's
next
hope
weekend.
for me? This is where it all begins. Thank you so much, Omar, Sarah. Appreciate you.